I'm going to give some names that are slightly... Right.
Stop clapping, for fuck's
Well, you said
sake.
you didn't have a clap last time and it didn't help, so there's my clap.
We've only got one audio track, so don't need a clap.
Hello and welcome to Simbin Sessions. Welcome back. I'm Megan Wellens.
I'm not sure.
And I guess the best way to try and guess where we are is this thing.
It gives it away a little bit. The vast majority of rugby league clubs you can now guess because you can wipe out half of them. Because that is the Yorkshire Cup.
Yeah.
The Yorkshire Cup. We are esteemed. We're finding just. We just found this.
I won't touch it because I'm a bit scared it's going to fall
It's
over.
It's a bit fragile. The man on the top's a little bit delicate.
Yeah.
But this is a very, very rare piece of memorabilia that we are.
It is.
But we are in a historical town for the world of rugby league.
The town you live in, your postcode is in. We are in Matt Shaw's very own Huddersfield. Yes? Excited to be in your hometown?
I am Halifax. I've always been Halifax.
What's your postcode?
Up the facts. We've done this before.
I know.
I have a HD postcode, but I do live in Halifax. I live in Colindale, which is Halifax.
Okay.
So I am still technically in Halifax in a roundabout way.
Cool.
What's your postcode?
This is
What's
what he
your
said he
postcode?
was going to throw back at me.
What's your postcode?
St Helens doesn't have its own postcode. We're WA. So
So you're from Warrington. Okay, right, moving forward. Well, if you want to play that game,
Sure.
Warrington's
Anyway.
Meg Wellens and Huddersfield's Matt Shaw.
There we go. That's what everyone wants to hear.
Two can play that game. What's that song? Two can play that game. No, sorry.
Anyway, let's get started with some Clubhouse whispers. So I guess this is the first time I'm back since the darts and you're back since
Tenerife.
11 Reef.
11. I knew you were going to say that. Yeah, I had 5 days in tenors with Hull KR, which was good fun. It's the third year I've been, and it's just a chance really for me to get to watch what they're doing. Bit of networking, really just a bit of sun and to get away from Britain. And it was good fun. It was dry camp,
I don't know what that means.
no drink
For who?
for the team. No, I
I was
only
going to
had,
say, I don't think it's for you.
I only had 2 nights. I only had 2 nights.
Out of 5.
Yeah.
Right.
So I did well for most of it, and I didn't drink the other days at all. But the players were on dry camp, and it was good fun. I showed off my prowess at basically all sports: rugby league, paddle, table tennis. A few people have commented on my drop goal ability. Cycling,
You missed.
it was close though.
Right.
I ended up in a goal kicking competition with Luke Gale and Willie Peters, which didn't seem fair. I didn't win that one. But yeah, it was great. And Hull KR were on it. They were tough.
So this was going to be my next question. As someone who has on this podcast talked about your kind of slight worries for the season that Hull KR have got ahead, did it get rid of some of those worries? Did it?
Yeah.
Or did it make you go, look, they're still amazing, but they have got a lot on? Or
Yeah, it probably did ease my worries a little bit. That said, that schedule is still horrid.
yeah,
I will stand by my word that they will not win the league leaders because I think they'll have a dip in that middle part. However, they do look in good nick. There's some players in particular. Arthur Morg was the one who stood out for me. He looked sharp, really, really sharp. In the opposed sessions, looked superb. And then a few other. There was a couple. Tom Amone looked in good nick. Tom Whitehead. All the players talking about Tom Whitehead, who's obviously joined from Warrington.
Yeah.
He looked really good. So, but they're a good group. I think one of the things that stood out for me from other times I've gone, like it's only like the press room, like any workforce. Normally, within your group, certain people stick with certain people. Like they'll go out with them at night.
Yeah.
Or they'll go for a coffee
Like
with
cliques
them.
almost.
Yeah, to a degree.
Yeah. Or you just end up closer to some people.
Yeah, for sure. It wasn't like that this time. Like a lot of the young lads tended to stick together before. They were like going out just randomly, and then like I'd just be walking on the beachfront, and random people who I hadn't really seen together before would just be out for a coffee together and stuff like that.
Do you think that was natural, or do you think that's something that Willie Peters instilled as like a no, you socialise with everyone?
There is a connections prerogative to try and enforce those situations, but the times I was seeing it weren't. They had like special times for that, and it was out of that. It was encouraging for them. That was certainly different from what I've seen before. So yeah, looking good. And if any clubs are looking for coverage on their warm weather training camps next year, you know where to come.
You know where to come.
Absolutely not you.
But yeah.
You wouldn't do anything.
What do you mean?
You would just be on the beach.
Well, that's not true, because what sport did I used to play, Matt?
Rugby.
Right.
Right.
So would I join in? Yes. So,
You join, right, so you're going to get involved in a wrestle session.
Yeah. I back myself.
Hey, listen. Take back what I just said. Invite Meg next time, okay? I will look forward to that.
Sure.
No, you don't.
Let's get into
Anyway.
try or no try. We're just going to recap some of the off-season stories, because we've not really mentioned yet, but this is going to be a bit of a Super League 2026 prediction show, which we'll get to momentarily. But to get into that, it's probably a good chance to look back at some of the big things that happened between October and now in January.
Not much.
So,
It's been more recently, hasn't it?
Yeah. But there has been things that have gone on. Are there any standout ones in your mind?
If it's not Super League related, it's probably a bit of recency bias, but obviously now we know Sean Wayne's gone.
Yeah.
That's the big story, really, isn't it? Or probably more now who it comes in for.
I've said from day dot, Peters or Pete for me. And the thing I think tips Peters over Pete for me is Pete and Wayne worked together at Wigan. You can't ignore that.
Yep.
That if you're going to get rid of Wayne, it's an interesting. It's not saying it's a bad path, because Peters is an incredibly good coach, but it's an interesting path to then employ the coach he works with on a daily basis.
I get that.
But I think both of them would be good at, because as we understand it, it's going to part-time, right? So it's going to go to someone who already has a role.
They want an active. They really want an active Super League head coach, which does restrict you to 14 people, and then you look at who's available. I think you've got the two that you've mentioned. You could say Adrian Lamb. He's got international experience working with the Kangaroos.
Yeah. Well, that was the thing that tipped Peters for me, is that he worked with the Kangaroos in the Ashes.
Yeah.
And I just think so recently, having worked with Australia and being ingrained in their setup, why wouldn't you want the guy who's spent, what was it, a month and a bit?
Yeah, I get it.
In and around those players, probably understands those players, then also understands the players, some of the key players for England, like a Mikey Lewis, who we didn't unlock properly on the international stage.
No.
So maybe straddles that kind of
I get that
thing for me.
The other one is Brad Arthur, who I'm told is keen. He's done a good job at Leeds.
Yeah.
You've got options. Yeah. There's probably two left field ones. People will say Sam Burgess because of his association with the English rugby team.
Yeah.
But off the back of last season, it's hard to see
that. Yeah.
And then the other one, which
Steve
doesn't
Mack
fit
not do it
possibly, but
again.
he's been there, done it. So
Yeah.
I don't think they'll go down that. The other one that I think is left field, but I could see, is Brian McDermott. No Super League. He's obviously not active in it now, but he's at the Knights in the NRL.
But can you have someone based in Australia when you probably, I know we're not going to get games, but you probably need meetups.
When they're going to have time for contact? Yeah, you've got meetups. Yeah, possibly.
You're not going to. I don't think you can have a coach who's based in Australia who physically won't meet and see his squad. You need people who can be at matches.
It's not ideal. I accept that. It's not ideal. Don't know. Just.
There has also been mention of the new St Helens head coach, which I found very left field.
I don't see that.
No.
Not now.
No.
I think
I could see him in the future.
I think if he didn't have a job.
Yes, 100%.
Which goes against what we've just said, but I think he's just taken that job.
Well, no, because the difference is, so Pete Arthur, we've just seen what they've done for a season.
Yeah.
He's just had a season of Salford being what they are. He's taken on a new job. We're yet to know what he does with Saints. So I think you have to let that play out.
I also think, bear in mind the tension there was between the RFL and Salford at times. That round one fixture, I think, I can't see that.
I can't see that. But yeah, look, Pete Arthur, all great options. Do they change the outcome? Who knows? But
no, they don't change the outcome.
But they might make them play better. So it's an interesting thing of if you saw England playing in a way that you could get behind, is that a better outcome than watching them? Because Matt, by that third test, we were sat there like...
What I'll say though, Meg, is I can guarantee it doesn't matter who the coach is. When the squad's announced for the World Cup, everyone will go, they don't know what they're doing, they're talking nonsense, this guy should be in, this guy should be in. Nothing will change in that regard.
So there'll always be that. Yeah. I think the issue this time was, one, players picked with injuries, which blew my brain when you actually heard the full extent of some of them.
Yeah.
And then, two, they were picked on legacy back to the high hill and then didn't deliver.
Yeah.
Or three, a combination of the two, were picked on legacy but were injured.
But I get it, completely get it. And, you know, Sean Wayne ultimately fell on his sword in that regard, didn't he, with the picks of like Bateman, which didn't work, not picking Jake Connor, which didn't work. They were the two main ones that everyone contested at the time, and they didn't pay off. So
playing Smithies in the first test.
Yeah, but the same thing will happen with the next coach.
Sure. But I think they bring in a new setup, a new culture. It's something different, right?
Yeah.
And I think maybe refresh is the best thing ahead of a World Cup.
Yeah. I think so long as there's not
nothing changes if nothing changes.
I just think there has to be very, very honest and real expectations about what England can achieve in the World Cup.
Agreed.
That's my thing.
Yeah.
If people think that a new coach is going to come in and deliver a final, I don't personally think that's achievable. But
yeah.
Hey.
Anyway, with that, let's move on to our predictions for 2026. We're going to go through some of the usual ones, but then we're going to get on some a little more niche topics. So let's get going with the obvious one. It's not necessarily about league leaders, but who do you think will be the two teams that we're talking about for those top two spots?
So going off what I said about league leaders, I'm not having Hull care in this specific conversation because I think they'll have a dip. I've definitely got Lee there. 100% got Lee there. I honestly think wide open after that. Wigan's lack of depth worries me. Hull KR's schedule worries me. They're the obvious contenders. Leeds, I've spoken about concerns I've got around them with contracts and uncertainty, but they are starting to resolve them. One way or another, they're either going or they're not.
And you might have players wanting to do something before they go.
Yeah. So I've tossed and turned on this, and I'm kind of back flipping on where I was when we last kind of spoke. Right here, right now, I think the top two could well be Lee and Leeds.
Oof.
And I'll tell you why, because it wasn't too long ago I was saying Hull FC top four. The Boxing Day game spooked me. They didn't even play Boxing Day. The speed of the game was rapid, and we now know
we'll get onto later.
We know about all the changes, and they have some very, very big middles that I think might find the going tough with these new rules. SASA, Lasoni, da-da-da. So I've just got a little bit of doubt on Hull FC now. I'm not barring Lee, I'm not massively sold on anyone right here, right now for league leaders. I'm going to go Lee Leeds though. Yeah.
I agree with you in terms of Wigan. I do have a bit of the Cruz Leeming deal is...
Yeah, we spoke about that.
Yeah.
What do you think of it?
I'm shocked.
Why?
Because I think he does a really good job for Wigan, and I think he suits Wigan. He suits what they want. He suits what they need. I don't understand it, unless it's a salary cap thing.
I think there's a couple of things. I think we've got to remember Brad O'Neill has proven he can be an 80-minute hooker, if needs be.
It doesn't matter. Cruz Leeming has proved himself as a very, very good 10, 20-minute hooker.
Yeah, for sure. But they've got young Tom Forber who they've got to pull the trigger on eventually. Right? Tom Forber's now back from injury. I think he's 22, 23. You've got to go at some point.
I'm just not sure this season's the season.
And bear in mind, I don't think they will have really wanted to let Cruz Leeming go. However, they desperately need someone to play in the middle because they're so light with the Wilson injury.
So you think it's more that they're pulling the trigger on Forber and they're bringing someone in who can play
in the middle? They need a middle. Everyone can see they need a middle. And the sacrifice, essentially a sacrifice is Cruz Leeming. Is how I look at it.
Yeah. It's... maybe it's like short-term pain for long-term gain kind of goals.
Yeah.
In terms of pulling the trigger on a youngster, seeing how it unfolds.
Yeah.
And look, it might work wonders, and Forber might have a brilliant season. And like you say, they have got Brad O'Neill, who if Forber's not doing the minutes they need him to, Brad can do the minutes.
It comes back to what we spoke about when we actually recorded at Wigan about having 3 hookers. They lose that now.
Yeah.
So if O'Neill was to go down, that's a lot of weight on Tom Forber at that point.
Yeah.
But I think when you look at where the squad's at, and we've got to keep addressing this, Wigan have serious salary cap issues which come off the back of so much success. So they have to.
It is something for me that as a sport we're going to have to address at some point.
Yeah.
Because we constantly say that we stifle success in this sport, and the bottom pull the top down.
Yeah.
And the top need to start pulling. And I'm not saying get rid of the salary cap. That's not what I'm saying. But there has to be something better than almost being punished for success every 5 years.
Yeah, that's what happens.
That's what happens. It happened to Saints.
Yeah.
It's happening to Wigan. It's going to happen to KR.
And I'll tell you now.
And it happened to Leeds.
It'll be more fierce now.
Yeah.
Because of Perth and PNG, the player pool goes down.
Yeah.
The people throw more money at the players available. It's going to get even worse for the successful clubs. Really is.
But to round this off, my top 2, Lee, I agree, because I've got them later on making it something else. And I think the reason I have them making the grand final later is because they are in that top 2 and it changes their path there rather than having to do the home game and then the away game, whatever. And then my other one, I think because I think there's going to be so many weird results this year in terms of a lot of that top 6 to 8 can beat each other.
Yeah.
I think a Hull KR or Wigan will sneak it.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah. I would
and
go
not by like crazy amounts, but just they'll sneak it.
Hull KR could surge at the end maybe and get it possibly.
Wigan every year we say you come good at the right time.
Yeah, exactly.
And they might just go on a run at the end.
I think that's what Hull KR will do this year. People will be going, oh, they're not the team they were in the last 7-8 weeks. Oh, they're back, sort of thing. Yeah.
So moving on to number 2, the Challenge Cup will start soon, ish.
Technically already started.
But you know what I mean. They've done the draw. You know what I mean.
Yeah.
Is there a team that you could roguely is probably the wrong word, but is there a team that you could see going on a run? Because it's technically from this point, isn't it? 4 games and you win it.
The team. I don't know why. I've been thinking about this a lot recently. Do you know what? I can just picture lifting the trophy this year, and I don't know why. I can't give you any rhyme or
Should we
reason.
say it at the same time or 1, 3, 2?
Are we going 3, 2, 1, go?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
London Broncos.
No, London Broncos. Never. No.
Why
they
not?
could beat Bradford. In fact, I think they will beat Bradford, to be honest.
It's not that unconceivable.
What about Halifax? Halifax gets to play probably Gould Viking. Hang on. Halifax Challenge Cup semi-finalists in 2019, I think you'll remember. Mm-hmm. So it's very plausible they should play Gould in the last 16. Is it the last 16? Yeah, the last 16.
And then they'll meet Wigan?
It's not. It's last 32, and then it's the last 16.
Right.
Then they could get London at home because they'll beat Bradford.
And London will beat them.
Halifax will win. And then they've just
how will they do that?
Fluke. They've got a fluke win against the Super League team somewhere.
Yeah, okay. But this is my point with London is I think London can fluke a win against the Super League team. Not even fluke. Have you seen the squad?
No, they've got a good squad. They've got a good squad.
I just think 4 games.
I think they've got a stronger squad than some of the Super League teams.
Yeah, if you look at Hull KR's run to the Challenge Cup last year, it was
York, Oldham,
Catalans.
No, they played somewhere in between, didn't they?
York, Oldham. No, I thought it was 4 wins and you win it.
But they did beat
anyway,
someone else.
4 wins and you're there.
Yeah.
I just think it's not that inconceivable. But Wakefield, that's mine. London, I think they have a strong squad. Could be a Super League squad, stronger than some Super League squads. It's not inconceivable that they get 4 wins.
I've just got a feeling about where the only now there's 14 teams because there's Toulouse and York, but before that they were the only Super League team not to reach a final in the Super League era, Challenge Cup or Super League. I think they've made great progression. I think they've got a good squad, and I can just see them winning the Challenge Cup.
It's the type of thing Powell would be good at getting them.
Yeah. Just got this feel. You know when you get a feeling for the Challenge Cup because you can't really put logic on who wins the Challenge Cup.
Well, like Warrington got there last year, and it was like.
But you don't know what the draw's got to be.
No.
And I've just got this feeling like if Wakefield end up having to play Wigan and Hull, they're probably not going to make it. But if they can get a decent draw, and they could probably knock one of them. Just got a feeling with Wakefield on Challenge Cup.
Okay. And also make sure to let us know in the comments who you think is making any of these things as well. We want to know what your predictions are. And make sure to like and subscribe. Got it in there. I remembered. Next.
Half an hour into the show, but...
Well, no, you meant to do it throughout, Matt. Anyway, On to the other big one, grand final. Jerusalem ends. Who are the two teams walking out of that tunnel?
Lee and Hull KR.
I agree. That doesn't happen very often.
Wow. This is a turn. This is definitely a turn.
Because I think they take spots 1 and 2.
You've got that, yeah. I just think Hull KR come good at the end. Yeah.
And I think Lee. So my prediction has been Lee get there, but they lose.
Yeah, you said that all the way.
Yeah.
I've obviously got a bit of bias because I've just watched Hull KR train. But yeah, I think we're in a good spot. And I do think they've got good squad depth that people don't realise. Like some of these young lads they've signed, like Tom White, who I mentioned, they're probably ready to play 7 to 10 games in Super League.
We have said the big thing for Willie Peters this year is, so we did some weird stats analysis last year of Hull KR's squad.
We spent ridiculous amount of time on it, but yeah.
Comparing it to all the other squads and each position and the minutes they played throughout the season. Their top players, by far and away, played a ridiculous amount of minutes compared to other top players in the league. And look, it paid off last year.
Yeah, it did.
It's not sustainable.
Well, I don't know if you saw the interview I did with Willie Peters while I was out there.
I don't watch your social media, but yeah.
He said, we will have to use the full depth of our squad this year.
I think he realised, coming at the end of that season, he was probably getting a bit panicky when you were...
He wasn't.
No, but...
I spoke to him about this in Tenerife and he was like, he knew the week off. Once he knew they were getting the week off and they were finishing
Sorry,
top
but I'm
two,
talking about when they were still trying to clinch league leaders.
Yeah.
I think that would have been a bit like, come on lads, come on.
Yeah, but they were still, if you remember, they were still going strong, weren't they? They were
They
fine.
lost to Wakey.
They lost 2 in a row.
Yeah.
Then they...
And then Warrington's kids scared them.
But remember they beat Wigan and then they went like 6 clear with 4 to go or something. Then they lost to Leeds comfortably. They were awful.
Yeah.
They
Wakey.
beat someone, or they beat 2. They beat Saints and they beat Hull FC. Then they got trounced by Wakey.
They scraped through those 2 wins.
Yeah, and then they scraped
Warrington,
past Warrington at the end. But I think once they beat Wigan, they were always finishing top 2.
Yeah.
And from speaking to Willie about this, he was like,
he didn't mind.
I knew we were getting
2.
the week off, so I knew we'd be refreshed for the
playoffs.
playoffs.
I'm sorry, I wasn't talking about the semi-final necessarily. I was just talking about that end period.
Yeah.
It was like...
They huffed and puffed and finished line.
Yeah. And the house creaked over.
Yeah, very nearly went over.
Yeah. So, next up, let's move on to specifically player-orientated. We know last year, our first Meg Matt meet, Jake Connor, won Man of Steel.
You just be careful about who you're going to say isn't going to win Man of Steel this time, please.
Well, I didn't say who wasn't going to win it last time.
Or who isn't deserving of winning it.
Me and Jake have made up, it's fine. But we're getting on to who you think, can Jake Connor retain Man of Steel? Or someone who's won it before get Man of Steel? Or will it be someone new?
I think we get a new winner.
Who?
I've got 2 picks.
Okay.
I've got Jez Litton and Lockie Miller.
Explain.
Right, so I know there's going to be some people screaming at this going, Lockie Miller, you've hammered him for... I hammered him in his first year and I stand by that he did not play anywhere near as well as people
I think he would
said.
say he wouldn't.
But everyone raved about him, like, don't see it. Last year he changed my mind. I think off the back of the quick rucks and the
Which
speed,
we'll get on to.
Lockie Miller's going to absolutely obliterate teams in this quicker paced, more frantic thing. Likewise with Jez Litton out the ruck. I also think Jez Litton, back end of last season, took his game up 2-3 levels. He was probably one of England's standouts in the Ashes. I think he's had another great pre-season from what they're all saying, so I just think he's going to have an awesome season. So, and I also think, you think about how the Man of Steel voting works and what people look for. One of the things that's going to be obvious to people with these quicker rucks is the hookers running out. So everyone's going to notice Jez Litton. So yeah, I've got one of Jez Litton and Lockie Miller winning Man of Steel.
Okay. One I'm going to throw in there, again because of the way the game is... So I've got 2 actually. Purely because of the way one of them is being talked about, and then also because of the way the game is going to be played. So because of the way the game is going to be played, I'm going to say... If he has a season that he wants to have, Jackson Hastings could win it again.
Ooh.
Why not?
No, I'm not seeing it.
Not seeing it?
I think the way that Saints will play, he will take on a supporting role, not as in he'll be playing a very important role, but he'll be a facilitator rather than the man. So
I disagree.
Fair enough.
And
back to norm.
My other one, purely because of the way that people are talking about how he's trained in pre-season and with the quicker play of the balls and the way that a poorly team will play. He was Young Player of the Year last year.
Harry Robertson. I have so Warrington's Meg Welland's going for 2 St Helens people. Unreal. I do know from what people have told me about him in pre-season, he's been freakishly good at times. They did an opposed session with Widnes, and apparently some of the things he was doing were just ridiculous. He's a talent.
And I feel like with the way it's going to be played, like that play against Leeds where he just like turned them all in on themselves, if he's doing things like that regularly.
I think the only thing you maybe have to remember is they've got a lot of depth in the back line. He's only young. He might get pulled out every now and then. Which
I don't know if he plays the way that he's expected to play. Yeah. He'll be able to physically pull him out, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, true.
Like, he might pull him out for like an early cup game, but if it's getting to that latter point in the season and he's playing the way they all say they think he's going to play, I don't know how you pull him out.
We'll see. Not bad shouts.
And do I have any others?
I can already feel the messages coming because there's been no mention of Jake Connor.
Yeah, he's going
the messages will be coming from Jake Connor.
We'll both get the messages. Look, should we stick with it because it might motivate him to go again?
I'm not backing you, Jake. Sorry, Paul.
Yeah, I think if maybe it's similar to Jackson Hastings in that he'll be the facilitator to a Lockie Miller.
No, I don't think. I just think it's only one person's won it back to back.
Right.
Paul Sculthorpe.
Yes.
It's so hard to do. Just don't see it.
Is he the only one to win it back to back? Did Andy Farrell not?
No.
No, I thought he did.
No.
Fair.
I hope he didn't now because then I'm editing.
Well, so yeah, let us know your Man of Steel picks. I mean, look, it's a lottery at this point because someone could come out of the woodwork and have like a freakish.
Yeah, you're guessing. But I will point out that last year I did pick Jake Connor for Man of Steel, 28-1. Thanks for coming.
And also, can't write him off, Bevan.
No, you can never. No, he's a freak.
Like,
we are overlooking Bevan French.
Yeah, like, we are ignoring that as like a.
So you almost forget him because he's that good. It's like,
let's move on then. So this is the interesting point. Quicker play the balls. I first want to ask you specifically about kind of before we get into this. Do you know any more about how they're going to regulate the play of the ball?
It's more about communication. So
they're sticking with the weird thing of you control the speed.
No. It is as a general rule. However, what I will say is I do know one club that has had 2 referees in. For the referees going to clubs for just it's practice for them as well. And the feedback I got from a couple of the coaches was one of the referees was brutal on it and one was a lot more lenient.
Surely they need hard and fast.
And everyone's going, alarms. Like, we need... All comes back to consistency, whatever it is. I think everyone pretty much wants quicker rucks, quicker tempo game, but it has to be consistent across the board.
It does.
So, but it is going to be quicker.
I can already see the coaches kicking off.
There's a lot of talk about... so the referees will communicate quite specifically off his legs or something like that. So that the person knows.
But my point is it like 1, 2, 3, get up? Like, how are they deciding what a quick play ball is?
And obviously, the other one that is very obvious, you have to roll out of the ruck.
Yeah.
If you make no effort to roll out of the ruck, you're penalised. Which is arguably the most annoying of them all, where they're just laying in the ruck.
Yeah.
So that will be gone. And if they're still just there, they get penalised.
Okay.
So that one's very, very simple.
I'm slightly sceptical of the enforcement. I just believe in hard and fast black and white rules when it comes to this. But yeah.
You can't have a stopwatch. 1, 2, 3, ding, ding.
When you play the amateur game, literally you're taught by your coach.
Yeah,
1, 2, 3, get up.
You can't expect the referee to
not have a stopwatch, but they can go in there. They have a brain.
Yeah.
So if this gets enforced and they manage to get it consistent across the board, what teams do you see it benefiting?
As I touched on, not Hull FC.
I think any really defence-orientated sides, it's going to really harm.
I think it could help Wigan because
Why would it help
Field and
Wigan?
French.
Yeah, but they have been. It's an interesting one, Wigan, because they do have that, but they have been very defensively orientated.
Yeah, for sure. But I think they felt the Rooks were killing them last year.
Really?
They thought the Rooks were killing them.
Okay.
Because bear in mind, there was a period where at one point in the season, like 10, 12 rounds in, they were the most penalised team in the comp. And but had also earned the least amount of penalties.
Yeah.
And they're like, what's going on? Matt Peters went ballistic about it.
Yeah.
So there's that. Who I think it'll suit Wakefield.
That's who I was just about to say. I think it really suit Wakefield.
Yeah, I think it'll really suit Wakefield. It'll suit Leeds. It'll suit, probably Leeds and Wakefield.
Anyone with a massive pack with some
It's,
unfitter players.
The ones with the less mobile packs are going to struggle. So, yeah, some teams it'll neutralise because it'll help them in attack, but suffer in defence. But the two that probably stand out to me is the two that it'll benefit the most are Leeds and Wakefield. I
would have said Wakefield. Hull KR, I think it could take Jez Litton, like you said, up again, and like a Mikey Lewis. It's gonna. This is the annoying thing with the like Man of Steel thing. It's gonna really help the backs again. If you're a forward, you're thinking,
you've
like,
no chance.
God's sake,
You've no chance.
You're not you're not standing because you're probably going to be putting in. Say last year, when like I don't know, he's not in that, but like a Morgan Knowles would do like 50 tackles. There's going to be someone who still does that, but at a quicker speed, and 100%. We're just going to be like, oh.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I agree. Wakey is the one for me. I think it'll be really good for them. But intrigued to see if it actually comes off. Next, what players? Is there any players, or is there a player that comes to your head that you feel needs to have a stand up and be counted season? That kind of needs to either go, look, no, I'm a senior player here, I'm making my mark, or move up a level, or take their chance.
The first one that springs, there's two that spring to mind. Tom Burgess.
Yeah.
I think he'd be the first one, mate. Didn't have a good year. I'm looking at like Moneyball here.
Yeah.
Brodie Croft.
100%.
I didn't think Harry Smith had a good year last year.
Didn't have his best year, no.
No. They are probably the three. Warrington's a bit tougher because there's plenty. A Toby King.
Oh, yeah. He's the one for me. Yeah.
Because like with Danny Walker, who's injured most of the year, Matty Ashton injured most of the year, so it's hard to really pick on them. George Williams played injured.
I don't know if it's about hard to pick on them because that's the moments when you need a Toby King to go up a level.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So probably someone like those four would be the four main ones for me. I'll go with those four. I can't think of anyone blatantly obvious. To a lesser degree, but it's not really his fault, Ben Garcia, but he was playing at hooker and he's not a hooker. No. So it's not really his fault.
Yeah.
So less of him, those four would be the four that I'd go with. The other one, I'm going to go one more. And it's because I want to mention him on the show because I'm excited by him this year. It's Jake Truman.
Okay. And it's not necessarily about stand up be counted, but it's more make his mark.
Jake Truman hasn't missed a training session this season so far. First time ever. I know he's changed some things in rugby, out of rugby. His talent is undeniable. Just needs to stay on the field. The fact that he's not missed a pre-season training session, the fact that he's tearing the house down. This could be the year where we finally see Jake Truman at his best all season. I really hope so because he's an unbelievable player.
I'm going to throw some different names in there that it's not necessarily they need to be counted in the way of putting in a big year because they haven't had a big year. So first one was Forber that we talked about in that we're going to give him his chance. He needs to take the chance. My other one is Lewis Dodd.
Yeah, that's a good one.
He's going to come in at Catalan's point to prove to the league, really, to the rugby league world. And I think he's old enough now, he's 24, to maybe step up, be that senior person, show he can lead them around the park, show his kicking game, and show that he is still that star player that went off to the NRL. Those are the other couple of names I'd...
No, I think Dodd particularly is a good one.
Yeah.
Forber for a different reason now.
Yeah.
But yeah, Dodd, he's a player, isn't he? He is a player. There's no getting away from that. He's a player. He's just had a rough couple of years. Because even his last year at Saints wasn't great. So I'm interested to watch him and Sexton play together. They could be the surprise package. We haven't talked about surprise packages.
Well, wait a second. Hold your horses.
What a segue.
Who planned this episode? So,
Meg.
What team do you think will do better than everyone is expecting?
Well, right, so I'm obviously going with Catalan, but the thing is, it's hard to answer that specifically because I don't think anyone has a clue what to expect from Catalan. I don't know. But they have signed good players.
Yeah.
Not the high-profile
superstar
household names, but they have signed good players. I think everyone's just thinking, Catalan will be naff again. I think if there was a team that's probably going to surprise, it would be Catalan for me. But they could be a bit of anything, really.
I think maybe Castleford will pull off some scalps that we aren't expecting.
Yeah, it's one of them with Cas, because I think people are expecting them to be better.
Well, someone replied in the comments to on our last video where we said there's optimism about Cas, and he said, I'm a Cas fan, it's not optimism, it's expectation.
Yeah.
So they fully believe.
And this is where my worry is. This is what I was saying before. Like, for me, I think the expectation's a little bit risky.
Yeah.
Because, yes, they've signed a load of overseas players, and that everyone just gets excited when you do that. If you look at them, some of them haven't played a lot of NRL at all. Some haven't played a lot of NRL for a while. So there's a bit of...
We've seen many a time a NRL grand finalist come over and flop.
And look at the way that the clubs have recruited more recently with more obscure players coming over because of the... And it's been very hit and miss. And Castleford know this too well. Like, remember, this time last year, Juna Rimbu was going to win Man of Steel.
Yeah.
It just won Queensland Cup Player of the Year. He was dropped after about 6 weeks. So it's not... Just because they're coming from overseas does not mean they are going to be good.
And this just shows how good I am at planning episodes again, because I'm guessing that is your team who will struggle more than people are expecting.
No, because I do think they'll get better.
Right.
But I think
struggle more than expecting.
No, I think the team that will struggle more is St Helens.
See, you stand by this thing on Saints, don't you? So I think my team that I think will do better is Catalans as well. I think they'll be up there.
Yeah.
We'll get into your Saints in a minute. We'll struggle more than people are expecting. It's a tough one because they struggled last year, but I just don't think Warrington are going to improve as much as people think.
I don't know many people who think Warrington are going to improve.
But I think they go further.
Do you?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Not necessarily in like a oh my god way, just like a
not like Darryl.
Their fans need something.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure they're going to get this big gut punch thing that they think they're going to get.
Yeah, maybe.
And Saints for you?
It's just, look, I think they could start well. It wouldn't surprise me if 5 rounds in they're
unbeaten,
flying high.
Yeah.
I just think my worries there are when the going gets tough, how they deal with it. Not sure. People are just screaming at me like, why? And I just think there's just a few things in there. There's some big personalities in that squad. And, you know, when going gets tough, how are they going to manage? We've spoke a lot about above, like the Paul Rowley, Mike Rush dynamic. How does that play out? I just think there's a lot going on there that it has the potential that it could go wrong. They've definitely got a good squad. But
they've got a way better squad.
But I think that's where I come from, because on paper people who are saying are probably going to be top 2, top 3. I'm going, not sure about that.
Yeah. My only main worry is because I think overall they have improved their squad massively. I think Tristan Saylor is still unproven at 6.
That's one of my major problems.
And I think it's not necessarily a risk, but it's risk to say he's your 6 for next season because we saw that last season. Paul Wellens did it tried it and could not. Look, Jackson Hastings, much better player than Moses Mbai. No one would deny that. So there's going to be a more, but it still requires Tristan to do some stuff.
Still have concerns from at hooker as well.
Yeah.
If Darryl Clark goes down, Darryl Clark's getting on now.
Well, is that where they move Shorrocks to the?
But Shorrocks, I think, is going to be a big part of how Paul Rowley loves a ball playing 13.
But then is it just
Clemmer's
that Clemmer
not.
becomes?
Yeah, but Clemmer's not that.
Yeah.
Clemmer's not that.
Yeah, intriguing.
I think they're probably a hooker. If they're probably a hooker short for me.
Burns.
Yeah, it's a big ass though.
How old do you think Jake Burns is?
I know, but he's not played a lot of first team rugby. That's the thing.
I know, but with
he's 26. He's 26 now.
25, 26. Yeah. Getting similar to Forber, where they either need to use him more.
Yeah.
Or.
I get what you're saying, but neither of us are saying Wigan are in a grand final. So this is my point.
Yeah. No, I get that. I speak to my family about this all the time. I find it quite baffling that St Helens, invented is the wrong word, but the Kieran Cunningham, James Roby partnership became their DNA and selling point as a team is that you took Kieran Cunningham off and who came on? James Roby.
Yeah.
And they had this thing of the other teams now do where it's you take off your starting hooker and who comes on.
Well, look at the grand final winners last year. Mickey McIlaurin to Jez Layton.
Yeah, and it would be Brad O'Neill to Cruz Lee. So lots of teams have gone, that works. Let's do that thing. And I just find it baffling that club has lost James Roby in the last 3 years, was it? And hasn't gone.
I get it.
Darryl Clark needs someone.
I get it.
That blows my mind. But yeah, anyway, on to our final prediction. What is your 2026 hot take?
My hot take. My hot take. All right, I've mentioned him before, and I'm going to mention him again. And this is a hot take, but why not? Jake Truman will be in the World Cup squad.
Ooh, he's on the plane. He's getting a seat on the plane.
On the plane to Perth.
Oh.
Well, probably to Dubai or Qatar first, but you know what I mean.
Technically not, because if they don't leave the airport, you've not actually gone to that country.
Is that how it works?
You have to go through.
I didn't know that.
Security to have visited that country.
Didn't know that.
So if you only ever done a layover in a country, you've not actually not left the airport, you've not been to that country.
All right. Well, you're killing a lot of people's country tick box, they say. But yeah, that's probably mine.
Okay. My hot take. Teams will start complaining that the game is too quick.
That is not a hot take. That's predictable.
No, that the game is too quick.
That's predictable.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm going to stick with that. I think they'll start saying, "Where's defence gone? Why don't we care about defence?"
But I think that's where the game. You look at all other sports, like tennis with this 1 point competition the other day.
That was so cool.
Yeah, it's awesome. But people want quick. It's exciting as well 'cause it's quick and it's da.
100%.
So I think we've got to stick to his guns on that as a sport. Look at the NRL. Look at the NRL Grand Final. The greatest games I've ever seen. Rapid. It was a points fest. It was that's the way to go.
Well, that's so funny, isn't it? So funny though, because if a team won by that scoreline in Super League, we'd all go, "Oh,
awful standard.
Awful standard of
game.
rugby."
Yeah.
And it's maybe we care about the wrong thing. And when we're trying to market a product, and get people to watch it, the one thing my colleagues say to me this year is the left to right try. They all go, "Incredible, what a moment to watch." It was shocking defence, but who cares?
This is the thing, we as more rugby league purists as such can admire the attrition and the grind, but it doesn't make for good viewing for your natural, your
like when I sit doing
viewer.
reporting and I have I think it's called, what did they call it? A fruit, because it's kind of like a fruit machine with all your stats on.
Yeah.
And I sit and watch the tackles some of these players are making and marvel at the stats on the screen. But for a casual viewer,
don't care.
Him making 40-odd tackles really doesn't matter.
Care.
But then the little ones of, say, a J Fielder or Bevan French that might be 2 runs and a whatever, that's what sells the game.
And that's it. So we have to stick to his guns on keeping it quick. Yes, as old purists who like the defence and the battle in the middle and the war may not like it, but the sport needs to stick to it for its own image beyond.
Well, we always say you have recency bias, I have historical bias.
Nostalgia.
It's nostalgia. But my nostalgia bias...
Meg is riddled with nostalgia.
But my nostalgia bias comes down to thinking about those years of when defence wasn't the thing. I loved watching just like open free play.
Well, like my dad made me watch the 1987 Challenge Cup final. Halifax beat St Helens.
Yeah.
Didn't know. And he was like...
Well, we're not from either of those places, so I don't know why that matters.
Greatest game of all time, he says. I was appalled by the standard of rugby. And he'll tell me that they were great.
Appalled by the standard of defence.
Yeah. Oh, it was disgusting.
But I talked to my granddad, who played for Saints and Oldham were his main 2 teams on my mum's side of the family. But like, he talks about like the way they all talk about like Alex Murphy, like all these people that they talk about, and like you watch clips and no one's defending.
Oh, it's shocking.
But that's what, if you look at the crowds that were there.
The crowds are good now, Meg. Look at the crowd.
No, but I'm talking the crowds that used to be at those finals.
But Wembley's there's a much bigger issue around Wembley.
But like, there is, I think, and when I speak to people who are the more casual rugby league fan, they all reference, I used to love watching it when it was quick and
a fire and Hamlet.
Yeah, but they don't like watching. But when I watch it now, I get a bit bored. So there is something we need to do, and I'm glad they're addressing.
It's like football. Yeah. It's like football. Football's becomes too scientific.
Pep Guardiola.
Yeah. Killed football.
He's killed football.
Greatest coach of all time who killed football. But
but you could say similar. Well, I did a bit of research into this. It's a bit nerdy, but like I went back to when did the play the ball truly start to slow in Super League? So I analysed teams and their play the ball speeds and when it all changed. When do you think it changed?
Michael Maguire, surely.
Yeah. And his wrestling. So he was the first coach to ever bring in wrestling.
Yeah.
And I've been told stories that he used to make them watch videos of packs of dogs, like attacking, like thingy, and that he was like, this is the mentality you have. And there's a story that they'd played Leeds, and the thing was always you knew that you'd get wrapped, and then someone would come in. And I know we've outlawed that a bit now, but it was that someone would come in at the knees. And there was a clip of Kevin Sinfield charging his feet when he was getting tackled because he knew someone was going to come in. And he played it and was like, this is what we want. We want someone so focused on the fact that they know this tackle's coming that they're then not thinking about...
That's unbelievable. Didn't know that.
Yeah, and so he had this clip of Kevin Sinfield and he was like, we've achieved what we wanted to do. But yeah, that was the moment when it started to slow. And then if you look at the eras since that have dominated, they've all been defence focused. We've not had a team that's been attack focused since then.
Fascinating.
I do know my stuff sometimes.
Occasionally. I'm impressed with that. Go, Meg.
And
rugby IQ, I'm sure.
And with that brings us to the end of this Inman session. We hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to like and subscribe. Keep an eye out because we've got a few Meg Matt meets coming your way.
We do. When I get round to editing them.
When Matt does his job. And so keep an eye out for those because some really good stuff in them. Like I said, make sure to like and subscribe. Let us know your thoughts in the comments and we shall see you very soon.